We are a company that is both pro-commerce and pro-regulation. We believe that regulation does not squash innovation. In fact, for us, we've proven that it has created innovation. So I'm Gregg Renfrew. I'm the founder and CEO of Beautycounter. I'm thrilled to be here with you all this morning. Beautycounter is the leader in safer personal care, beauty, and now baby products. But we're really excited about what we're doing because we've been able to prove to the world that safety works. When I started Beautycounter, Beautycounter was just an idea. It was a piece of, something I had written down on a piece of paper. It was something that I thought about sitting at a small white table by myself. And today, I think we are living proof that their innovation is actually an opportunity for us to bring better products into the marketplace. And when I spoke 2 seconds ago about safety works, what I meant is that when I started Beautycounter, I learned that we were being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals. And just for 1 second, for those of you who are men in this room, of which there are many, when we talk about Beautycounter and the name beauty, I'm not just talking about my lipstick. I'm talking about your deodorant, the bubble bath you used on your children, your shaving cream, your shampoo and body wash and conditioners, all of those products. And so when I learned that we were being exposed to toxic chemicals through these products, I really wanted to do something about it. I wanted to set out to prove to the world that you could create high-performing products that were safer for your health, that safety really could work. And we've proven that it works in our labs, it works in our business, it works for our consumers, and it is what is allowing us to build this movement today. So going back to the beginning, I, along the way, became very impassioned with the environmental health movement. Like Daniel, who was speaking earlier, I felt that there was an opportunity to do better. He talked about healthier snacks. I felt like there was an opportunity to bring women and men products that worked as well as department store and traditional brands, but were significantly safer for your health. And the reason that I became really focused on this was that I learned that the EU had banned almost 1,400 ingredients from all personal care products, of which the United States has only banned 11 to date. So as a country, we are dangerously behind the times. We have introduced over 85,000 chemicals into commerce since World War II, of which less than 20% have ever been tested for safety on human health. And to me, as a wife, as a mother of 3 children, as a woman, I just felt that this was totally and completely unacceptable. And I'm not sure how many of you in this room are entrepreneurs, but as an entrepreneur, I believe that my job is to be a problem solver. I look at what the marketplace does today, and I look and try to figure out where it's going to tomorrow and how we, as a company or as a country, can do better. And that's really why I started Beautycounter. My goal was to do better, to educate as many people as I could. And my children and my husband always, freak out because I started, like most of us, I started reading and learning a little bit, and then it became sort of a cause for me, and then it became a passion of mine, and then I think it's safe to say this all became an obsession of mine. And so I will oftentimes, walk up to my children and say, Mom, please don't embarrass me, please don't do this, because I'll walk up to people on the beach and say, please don't put that sunscreen on your baby. And my husband's like, no, don't do this. Like everyone in my family is horrified. But at the end of the day, I feel so compelled to share this information because we all deserve to know this, right? How many of you in this room knew all these stats before I came on stage? Look around the room. Almost none of you knew this, right? And my guess is, because I'm sitting at Columbia University, that this is a highly intelligent, highly accomplished, well-educated group of people. Right? And yet you have no idea that there is no regulation over the cosmetics industry, that we have not passed a major federal law since 1938, and that companies are allowed to put ingredients in products like formaldehyde and arsenic and lead or whatever they want to, because there is no regulation. And I think, sadly, we think that the FDA is keeping us safe, but the reality of the situation is the FDA is not able to keep us safe because they aren't able to take action on products that contain harmful ingredients. So, my feeling is that we need to do better, and to me, that starts with a movement, an educational movement to make sure that the awareness is increased dramatically in this country. So I hope, if nothing else today, that you will pay it forward. We talk about acts of kindness. This is an act of kindness. This is a gift you can give someone else, the gift of information. So please pay that forward. But as a woman entrepreneur and as a business person, I also saw an opportunity to provide a solution through product. And so we set out to do what has now, aged me greatly, which is to create products that were both high-performing and safe. Because having an idea is great, but executing on that idea is always difficult. Building a business from scratch is just not easy. How many of you have started your own company and run it? A few of you. So you know that no matter how passionate you are about what you're doing or how great your idea is, it's just not easy to build a company. And it's certainly not easy to build a company in today's post-Amazon world, right? Because there are so many requirements of you. And those of you who are marketers in this crowd know that building a brand is not only difficult, but it's also extremely expensive. So we had to create products that performed as well or better than traditional brands. We had to go out and raise capital, we had to build a team, and we had to prove to the world that our brand was important, that we were the real deal, right? And so I think that one of the things that we've been really, really focused on is staying consistent and focusing on the few things that we know we can do well, which are building great products, creating great products, and educating as many people as possible. And I think that our authenticity and our mission that sort of are at the core of what we're doing, the reason that I started the company in the first place, are what has allowed us to enjoy such successful or such remarkable growth over the last few years. Last year we grew over 300% year over year. The business has just been booming. We've been able to ship almost 2.5 million products into the marketplace, and we now have created a platform upon which 15,000 women are building a business. And we've been able to do this because our brand has meaning to it. It has purpose, and it is authentic. And I think that as entrepreneurs and as marketers out there, you need to think about not only what you're passionate about, but does it actually have significant meaning in today's world? And can it actually make a difference? Because we find that consumers, they want great product, but they also want great purpose. And so I think one of the things that we've been really focused on now is how do people want to engage with our brand, and what part do they want to play in it? And what we've found is the more open and honest and collaborative we are with them at all times, the more that they want to engage with our brand. I would say, there was an old term that people used to talk about, creating sticky relationships with your clients, and I think we've been able to do that because we're telling this truth and the whole truth all the time. We talk about radical transparency in our ingredient process and our screening of ingredients, and we tell you everything that goes into our products, but we're also talking to you about why we're doing this, and we're actually walking the walk. So one of the things that we've been doing, very focused on as we build out our business, is advocacy. So my feeling and our feeling at Beautycounter is that one of the things that we can do while building a great company is do great work that has significant social impact. And as you saw in the video, there was an image of Washington. We are a company that is both pro-commerce and pro-regulation. We believe that regulation does not squash innovation. In fact, for us, we've proven that it has created innovation, right? And we are advocating tirelessly in Washington. In fact, we celebrated our 3-year anniversary on Friday, and we did a whole campaign with our clients and our consultants to using texting to send emails into Washington. And I'm really proud to say that over the weekend we sent over 15,000 emails to Congress saying we demand cosmetic reform. The time is now for cosmetic reform. Yes, we are a company that is building a great business, and we hope it's going to be financially rewarding for all. And I hope someday I'll be sitting on the stage as the CEO of either a publicly traded company or someone that we've sold for a significant amount of money. But at the end of the day, we want to see the world change. But so we believe, and I would encourage you, for those of you who are thinking as marketers or as entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurship is not just a fad. This is the way of the future. Obviously, it has to be born of authenticity. You have to really care about what you're doing. But for us, our work in Washington is as important as creating the products that we put on our bodies every day. We want women to have a lipstick that they love. We also want Congress to take action. We want them to create more health protective laws so that all citizens of the United States of America have access to safer products. Our mission is to get safe products into the hands of everyone, and so this is really important to us. How we get them into the products into people's hands, to us, is as important as the products themselves. And so when you think about building a business, you think of not only what you're creating, but how you're going to distribute their products. And we believe that our method of distribution is as innovative as our products and our mission are. And so we've created something that we call a direct retail model. And it's funny because I remember when I was speaking about a year ago at a conference, someone said, well, I Googled direct retail and nothing came up. And I said, well, right, because we're innovators, right? We're entrepreneurs. This is our job to bring you something that you haven't heard of. But I promise you in several years' time, people will be talking about direct retail. We believe that direct retail is the way of the future. direct to consumer through multiple channels, allowing you to work one-on-one with your clients through a variety of channels. And I think that most of you in this room today know that we as consumers do not shop in isolation of a single channel anymore, right? I'm a big advocate of J.Crew. Everybody knows I love the brand J.Crew, right? I like to shop J.Crew online. I like to shop J.Crew. My husband, so sorry about this. I'm sorry that I love this brand so much. But, I like to shop it online. I like to shop it in the store. I like to peruse the catalog. I want to talk on the phone with a personal shopper. I like to shop that brand through multiple channels when I want to, how I want to, right? Don't you as consumers do the same? You don't shop in isolation of one channel. And so our job as a brand is to allow our clients to shop with us as they prefer, when they prefer to do it. And so we've done a couple of things. First and foremost, we've mobilized a large group of women and men, primarily women, who are building businesses on a platform that we call Beautycounter, right? So we've enabled entrepreneurism, and we've empowered many with a job opportunity, an ability or an opportunity to build a business flexibly, whether they want to do that offline through parties, whether they want to do that online through Facebook or Twitter. We've found it to be an incredibly compelling way to build a business, and we've seen through our exponential growth that it's really, really working. The other way that we allow people to shop with our brand is through our digital medium, through our e-commerce platform, Beautycounter.com, because we know that many people today don't want that human interaction, or they want to do it at 2 in the morning or whenever it's convenient for them. And so we found that we need to have an e-commerce component. And obviously, that's critical in today's world. And then the last way in which we sell our products is through strategic partnerships, which we've done with both J.Crew and Goop, which is Gwyneth Paltrow's blog. And we'll be unveiling some very significant strategic partnerships moving forward with some very, very large retailers. And our opinion is that it's the combined multi-channel strategy that is really working. We don't use technology just for the sake of technology. We use technology to monetize human behavior, right? We know as people that we listen to one another, right? If you look on the sort of macro level of where we're going today as a world, we are buying and selling through personal influence. People are able to monetize their personal networks, and that's why we believe so strongly in this direct retail brand, and we believe so strongly in the power of people. The network effect comes in when you combine technology and people, right? You like to share stories with one another. You like to share information. I'm hoping every single one of you in this room will share the information that I've told you today on this screen so that people around you are making better choices. So think about if you combine that with technology, right? Your social networks and tools that make life for buying and selling easier. That is our belief. Our belief is that is the way of the future. And we believe this is an innovative concept. No longer do you need to worry about the perceived cannibalization from one channel to the next, because at the end of the day, as the tide rises, all ships sail. Right? The companies that will be successful in the future will do several things. They will combine and fully embrace a multi-channeled channel distribution, and I believe strongly that multi-channel distribution network will look very different today very different 10 years from now than it does today. In that, if you can embrace people as an asset versus a liability, I think you can see exponential growth, and we've already been able to see it through our work at Beautycounter. So, people have talked often about the fact that the department store is dead. I don't know that department stores are dead, but I think that people are a greatly underutilized asset in today's technological world, right? So try to figure out ways in which you can combine the two with something that has purpose. So again, at Beautycounter, we are very focused on getting safe products into the hands of everyone. That is our authentic passion and our mission. And combining that with a really innovative distribution model is allowing us to see the business grow very, very quickly. One of the things that I think entrepreneurs or small company leaders often do is that they change course often and quickly, or they listen to the last person. I think that as an entrepreneur, I think one of the things I've done well is I've known my strengths and weaknesses, and I've stayed the course. And so when I say that my mission is to get safe products into the hands of everyone, that is my mission. There are lots of opportunities that present themselves to me at Beautycounter all the time, but I'm focused on what we're doing because we have a lot of work yet to do. And I think that, for me, it is my personal passion. It is also my calling. I will not believe that we have accomplished what we set out to do until my children and your children and future generations of children don't need to read the labels on the products that they're putting on their bodies every single day. And in fact, I look forward to the day when they can't even believe that we actually ever had to. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.